They could trade for Sidney Crosby. I don't know what the fuck they would give up, but they could trade for Sidney Crosby, use the Barkov money on him this year, and then next year, they've got the cap space to fit both of them. The Florida Panthers always have something going on, whether they are winning cups, getting injured, not paying their players, or paying their players less because you get to cheat, and Brad Marchand confirmed that.
Steroids.
No, taking steroids. They're America's team. Everything that we love to do. They're now in a very interesting situation for this year because we've discussed that maybe at some point during this run, there's going to be a year where they've got to reset, a fallow year, we call it. And maybe they don't make as deep a run that year, but it gives them a little rest, and then they can go make a huge run. We already knew that Matthew Tkachuk was going to be out until at least December. Last week, Sasha Barkov shredded his knee. He's out 7 to 9 months. People wonder, is he going to miss the full season? This year, because they're starting to do the LTIR stuff a little differently with the new CBA, they're going to implement it early. They can't use his money in the regular season and then bring him back in the playoffs and go over the cap. Like, you can't do that. If they're going to use his $10 million, he has got to be out for the entire playoffs. So I'll kick it off. Is this a fallow year for the Panthers, or could this be a fill-up year where they spend that money and hope they can overcome not having their captain?
They've got options. They've got options to fill up if they want to. I do not believe that they are going to actively subscribe to like the we're taking a year off kind of thing. Even with Barkov out, even with Tkachuk out for an extended period of time, like there's just no way that Florida is taking their foot off the gas willingly, especially after bringing all those guys back in free agency. And I feel like the Panthers are, like that Trump meme tweet that it's like, looks like Donald Trump has really stepped in it this time, like can't get out of this situation. And it's like 5 minutes later, alas.
Yeah.
Like that is the Florida Panthers. Barkov gets hurt. Yeah, like their outlook is obviously more bleak. You cannot replace a guy like Sasha Barkov. It's going to hurt them. It definitely is. But you will not catch me dead saying that this team is dead.
Exactly. I think that they'll somehow be back. And even without Barkov, their roster is still awesome. Without Tkachuk, obviously it gets a little tougher, but you have to remember this is also their first year with Seth Jones for the full year. Like it's their first season with Brad Marchand for the full year. They're not so much worse to begin the season this year than they were to begin the season last year. So they're still in a lot better shape than a lot of teams would want. And as I said, they've got a $10 million check to write if they want to. Frank Saravalli on his Bleacher Report Insider thing that I watch is great. Everybody make sure you watch it. Very good. He just kind of said this and moved past it. And I want to jump into the screen and slap him and say, what are you talking about? How? He said there could be maybe a situation if everything lines up right where they could, if they want to go out and try to get an Evgeni Malkin, where with retained salary, they could make it work where during the season they use the money on Malkin and blah, 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 and then still find a way to be able to bring Barkov back if he's healthy in the playoffs. If that happens, holy shit, just give them another cup.
Kick these guys out of the league.
I don't get the math there, but Frank wouldn't have said it if the math didn't make sense. I've got one for them, though, and it scares the bejesus out of me. And every time I try to tell myself it doesn't make sense, it makes more sense. Sidney Crosby.
Oh, God damn it.
Sidney Crosby, $8.7 million. It's for this year and next. And I know they're going to have to figure out, like, well, you're going to get the $10 million from Barkov back on the books the next year. Smart ass DJ. Where are you going to get $10 million? Oh, I don't know. Do they have $10 million maybe coming off the books at the end of the season?
They sure do.
Exactly $10 million in net?
Mm-hmm.
They could trade for Sidney Crosby. I don't know what the fuck they would give up, but they could trade for Sidney Crosby, use the Barkov money on him this year, and then next year, they've got the cap space to fit both of them. Kill me. And does Sidney Crosby have a relationship with anybody important on the Florida Panthers?
Brad Marchand. Everybody talks about him playing with McKinnon. I mean, they're obviously best friends, but like, Second best friend, Brad Marchand.
His second best friend in the world, as Pete Blackburn has just reported. I don't think it's likely, but fuck. We nailed the Seth Jones thing. Empty Netter's voice. We nailed the Seth Jones thing. We said it was going to happen. And like, what? Are the Panthers not going to surprise us this year?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's a long shot, but because it's the Panthers, I'm not willing to I've had to sit here and eat a little bit of shit by saying that like a Seth Jones trade would never fucking happen because nobody wants Seth Jones. That turns out to be very false. The Panthers get him. Like, I'd say it's a non-zero chance. It's on the lower end, but fuck, keep it in mind.
The Everblade says that the Panthers need a court-ordered fallow year. I mean, I would rather a court-ordered fallow year than a forced fallow year of like people having their health heavily affected. But look, man, I'm never taking my eye off the Panthers. And as Pete said, I'm stupid enough to do a lot of things, but I'm not stupid enough to count the Panthers.
I mean, Cody Bedford also makes a point. Like, I don't think this would ever happen, but
Marchand's first best friend.
Marchand's first best friend, and like the guy that everybody compares Barkov to, Patrice Bergeron, he comes out of retirement to replace Barkov this season in Florida. That would kill me, but it would be incredible theater.
Here's why that might not work. There's a few reasons. But again, we're talking about the Panthers, and we're talking about getting guys who are lifers. First of all, like, Bergeron's no longer a lifer. The other thing is Bergeron going to want to come out of retirement? The guy who was the rich man's Sasha Barkov, and at this point, he's 900 years old. He's probably going to be worse than Barkov was. Mm-hmm. And people are going to look at Bergeron as like, oh yeah, they got Patrice Bergeron, who is able to do some of the stuff Barkov does. That's weird for the reputation.
I don't know, like Bergeron Mario Lemieux did it with Crosby when Crosby was on the Penguins.
Yeah, and Crosby's going to be on this team too. People forget.
That's true.
So,
yeah,
this all works. Mario comes out.
Yeah, that's right. No, side point that I wanted to make too with this situation is there was a lot of talk and a lot of analyzing the Sam Bennett contract. Has any contract that has been like kind of people being like, this contract sucks, aged so well? Like the Sam Bennett contract.
Before it started.
$8 million seems like fucking nothing now. And where would this team be without Sam Bennett on the depth chart?
We should do a study on contracts that aged well before they began.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it aged well when he signed. Were people not talking about him getting $10 million?
Yeah, I think that the $10 million thing was what people were complaining about, like thinking that he could get that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
his contract
that was
still
people's expectation.
Is probably like an overpay if you base players on their numbers. Like when we talk about like this guy's scored X amount of goals, like they're all regular season numbers we're talking about. So like on paper, you still look at that and you're like, he must be funny or something.
Well, and he's 29 years old, got an 8-year deal. Like, what's Sam Bennett going to look like in his mid-30s? Well, that part of it is completely removed when you're talking about the Panthers because they clearly do not give a shit what their team looks like in like 5 to 6 years.
I feel like
and they shouldn't.
Zito is going to show up 5 years from now and be like, I'm not doing this shit.
I mean, he should absolutely take a different job.
I'm leaving.
It's like the John Harbaugh Michigan thing where it's like you get your program suspended.
Yeah, fuck them up.
Get kicked out of college football.
Not taking that ring away.
National championship and just go to the NFL.
We all silly like the mayor.